You know it. I've definitely done it. That late night scroll through Zillow or Realtor.com, you see a house and it's nothing spectacular, just a normal house. And then you see the price and you laugh. But it's a bitter, kind of disbelieving laugh, right? It's not just you. The dream of home ownership, which was once the very bedrock of a stable life, well, now it feels like a distant fantasy for millions. They're astronomical. Mortgage rates feel punishing. So the real question isn't if the market is broken, but it's the one everyone is desperately asking. When will housing be affordable again? In this video, we're not just going to look at the headlines. We're going deep, really deep, to uncover the precise economic forces at play and reveal the specific evidence-backed conditions that must happen for you to see some relief. So stay with me, because the full picture, it's more complex and honestly more fascinating than you think. So, how did we get here? How did we arrive at this crisis? I mean, it wasn't one single event. It was a catastrophic storm of three distinct factors that all collided. First, let's just rewind to 2020 and 2021. The pandemic hit, and central banks all over the world did something, well, unprecedented. They slashed interest rates to near zero. Now, this was meant to keep the economy from collapsing, but it had this colossal side effect on housing. It made borrowing money incredibly, almost absurdly cheap. I mean, think about it. A mortgage rate of 2.7%, that feels like free money compared to today. And this just unleashed a tidal wave of demand. Everyone who had been on the sidelines, everyone working from home and suddenly needing more space, they all jumped into the market at once. It was a buying frenzy. Bidding wars became the norm. Buyers were waiving inspections, offering tens of thousands over asking. It was just pure chaos, and it sent prices straight into orbit. But then came the second element of the storm. The supply chain broke. Remember those headlines? Lumber prices skyrocketing, a shortage of windows, appliances, even garage doors. The cost to build a new home just exploded. Builders who were already struggling to keep up suddenly couldn't get the materials they needed, or they had to pay a fortune for them. And this crippled the construction of new homes right when we needed them most. So you had historic demand crashing into a wall of crippled supply. What happens when more people want something that is becoming harder to get? Prices don't just go up, they launch. And finally, the third thunderclap, inflation. As the world reopened, all that money that was pumped into the economy, combined with the supply shortages, it caused prices for, well, everything to surge. So, to fight this, the Federal Reserve had to slam on the brakes, and their primary tool for that? Raising interest rates, aggressively. So, in the span of just over a year, we went from the lowest mortgage rates in history to the highest in over 2 decades. Okay, imagine you're driving a car. The low rates of 2021, that was like flooring the accelerator, pushing the car, housing prices, to terrifying speeds. Then the Fed's rate hikes in 2022 and 2023 were like yanking the emergency brake. But the car didn't just stop. No, the momentum kept it moving. But now the entire system was just screaming, shuddering, and, threatening to fall apart. That's where we are now. We're caught between the whiplash of record-high prices created by those low rates and the crushing monthly payments created by the high rates. It's a mathematical trap. And understanding this trap, that's the first step to seeing the way out. But just how deep is this trap? The actual numbers they're staggering, and we'll break them down next. Okay, let's talk about what unaffordable actually means, because it's not just a feeling, it's a measurable, almost brutal reality. The single most important metric for this is the home price to median income ratio. For decades, a healthy, stable housing market had a ratio of about 3 to 4. That means an average home cost about 3 to 4 times the average yearly household income. It was a manageable stretch. As of late 2024, that national ratio is 7.1. Incredulous, 7.1. In many desirable cities, it's well over 10. This is just historically unprecedented. Your income has not doubled, but the price of the asset you need to buy with it has. It's like trying to pay for a 2025 Tesla with a 1995 salary. The math simply doesn't work. But here's the detail that most people miss, and it's the real villain of this story: mortgage rates. We fixate on the sticker price of a home, but the sticker price isn't what you pay. You pay the monthly payment, and that payment is dictated by the interest rate. Let's run a quick and frankly absolutely devastating scenario. Imagine a $400,000 home. At a 3% interest rate, your principal and interest payment is about, $1,686 a month. Okay, manageable for many. Now take that same $400,000 home. At a 7% interest rate, that same payment becomes $2,661. That's nearly $1,000 more every single month for the exact same house. That's an extra $12,000 a year, $360,000 over the life of the loan, just going to interest. This is why even when home prices cool off or, drop by 5%, it barely makes a dent. A 5% drop on a $400,000 home is $20,000, so your new loan is $380,000. At 7%, your payment is now $2,528. You saved a mere $133 a month. The price drop was almost meaningless compared to the crushing power of the interest rate. This creates what economists call the lock-in effect. Millions of homeowners are currently sitting on mortgages with 2%, 3%, or 4% rates. They can't afford to sell because to buy a new home, even a smaller one, would mean taking on a new mortgage at 7% and potentially doubling their monthly payment. So they stay put. And this keeps homes off the market, strangling inventory for new buyers. It's a vicious cycle. High rates make it impossible to buy, which convinces sellers with low rates not to sell, which reduces the number of available homes, which, it keeps prices stubbornly high for the few homes that are on the market. We are financially squeezed from both ends, prices inflated by the past and payments inflated by the present. This isn't just a tough market, it's a structural crisis. So, the obvious solution is just to build more houses, right? Well, that leads us to the next deeply entrenched part of the problem. The reality is, we have been underbuilding homes in America for more than a decade. Following the 2008 housing crash, home construction just fell off a cliff and it never truly recovered. According to a study by Realtor.com, the U.S. has a housing supply gap of nearly 4 million homes. We are millions short of what our population needs. This isn't a new problem, but that pandemic-era buying frenzy used up what little inventory we had, and it exposed the raw nerve of this deficit. So why don't we just build? The answer is incredibly frustrating. First, there's costs and labor. As we discussed, material costs are high, but more critically, there is a severe shortage of skilled construction labor. The 2008 housing crash wiped out a generation of builders. A lot of them left the industry and just never came back. The average age of a skilled tradesperson today is over 50. There just aren't enough young electricians, plumbers, and framers to replace them. This drives up labor costs and creates massive delays. But here is the single most surprising and honestly infuriating bottleneck, the one most people never see: zoning and land use regulations. For decades, local communities have put in increasingly restrictive rules that dictate minimum lot sizes, that ban the construction of duplexes or townhomes, often called missing middle housing, and that require these lengthy, expensive approval processes. These regulations, often put in place with good intentions to preserve neighborhood character, have had the disastrous effect of making it illegal to build smaller, more affordable starter homes in most of America. I mean, think about it. A builder could make more profit building 10 affordable townhomes on a plot of land than one giant McMansion. But if the zoning for that land says single-family residential only, 1 acre minimum, their hands are tied. They're legally forced to build the expensive thing. This isn't a free market. It's a market shackled by thousands of tiny local decisions that added up have created a national crisis. We have zoned affordability out of existence.
So even if mortgage rates came down tomorrow, we would still have a fundamental problem.
There simply aren't enough homes to go around, and we've made it incredibly difficult and expensive to build the ones we need most. It's a gridlock. Now, we've covered the mechanics of the market, the numbers, the supply, but this crisis is also a deeply human story. And the way it's playing out across generations is creating a social divide that we really cannot ignore. Look, this is a lot to take in. It's complex, it's frustrating, and it directly impacts your financial future. So if you're finding this breakdown valuable, if it's clarifying the chaos for you, do me a small favor and hit the like button. It tells the algorithm that this is an important conversation we need to be having. And if you want to go deeper on topics like this, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Your support is what allows us to create this kind of in-depth analysis. And on that note, I know many of you watching aren't just thinking about housing. You're thinking about your entire financial picture. You're looking for ways to build real wealth and security in this crazy economy. I've seen so many people in our community feel stuck, but I've also seen what's working. There are people right now building incredible seven-figure online businesses from scratch using the power of YouTube and AI. And it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a legitimate strategy for this new era. I've put together a resource that breaks down exactly how they're doing it. It's in the link right at the top of the description. Really, it's not an ad, it's a roadmap. I think it'll be incredibly valuable for you. Now, let's talk about the people. This housing crisis is not affecting everyone equally. It has driven a massive wedge between generations. On one side, you have baby boomers. This generation was able to buy homes when the price-to-income ratio was 3 or 4. They've spent decades watching their homes turn into winning lottery tickets, accumulating a staggering amount of housing wealth. According to Jessica Lautz at the National Association of Realtors, boomers are now the dominant force in the housing market. And here's the kicker. A huge portion of them are buying with all cash. They sell their highly appreciated home in a pricey state, walk away with, say, $800,000 in cash, and then they go to a more affordable area and just outbid everyone. Now picture the other side, Millennials and Gen Z. This group is saddled with historic levels of student loan debt. They entered a hyper-competitive job market, and now they're trying to save for a down payment while paying these exorbitant rents that are often higher than a mortgage payment would be. They aren't just competing with other first-time buyers. They are competing with a generation that is playing the game with completely different rules and a completely different bank account. An all-cash offer from a downsizing boomer will beat a 5% down FHA loan from a 30-year-old every single time. It's creating a sense of profound hopelessness. The message my generation and my parents' generation received was work hard, save your money, and you can buy a home. The message younger generations are receiving is work twice as hard, you'll still never save enough, and if you do, you'll be outbid by someone who bought their first home in $80,000 in 1985. It feels rigged. And this isn't to create resentment, it's to state a fact. We're living in two different economic realities simultaneously, and this demographic pressure is a powerful force keeping the market stratified and out of reach for so many. Here's a little-known fact that highlights this. According to the NAHB, for every $1,000 increase in a home's price, over 150,000 households are priced out of the market entirely. So just think of the cumulative effect of prices rising by hundreds of thousands. So with all this, the economic whiplash, the supply gridlock, the generational divide, we come back to the ultimate question. So when will housing be affordable again? Let's be clear, there is no magic switch. Firm, there will be no crash like 2008. The market dynamics are completely different. Homeowners today have strong credit and a ton of equity. We just won't see a wave of foreclosures. Instead, affordability will return through a slow, gradual, and honestly painful rebalancing. Here are the 3 things that absolutely must happen, based on the consensus of leading economists like Lawrence Yun from NAR and Robert Dietz from NAHB. First, mortgage rates need to fall and stabilize. The consensus forecast is that rates will slowly drift down from the 7% range into the low 6 or even high 5% range by 2025 or 2026. This won't happen overnight. It depends on the Federal Reserve getting inflation fully under control. But a 1 percentage point drop is significant. According to NAR's Nadia Evangelou, a drop from 7% to 6% could allow over 5 million more households to qualify for a mortgage. This is the single biggest key to unlocking demand. Second, incomes must rise faster than home prices. For the last few years, it's been the complete opposite. But there are early signs this is starting to shift. Economists are forecasting modest home price growth, maybe 2 to 3% in the coming year, while wage growth is projected to be slightly higher, around 4%. This is crucial. It's the only way for people's purchasing power to catch up. It's a slow crawl, not a leap, but it's the right direction. You need that gap between income and prices to finally start closing, not widening. And third, we have to build more missing middle housing. This is the long-term solution. It requires policy change. States like California, Oregon, and Montana have already begun to pass legislation that overrides local zoning to allow for the construction of duplexes, triplexes, and ADUs. This is the only sustainable way to fix the supply deficit. It's politically difficult, but it's starting to happen. We need a national movement to legalize affordable housing types again. So the answer to the question when, it's not a date, it's a condition. Housing will become affordable again when we reach a sustained period where mortgage rates are below 6%, wage growth is consistently outpacing home price growth, and housing construction is focused on density and starter homes, not just luxury properties. Most experts believe we will see the beginnings of this shift in late 2025 and into 2026, but it will be a market of regions. Some areas, particularly in the Midwest and parts of the South, will see affordability return faster. Expensive coastal cities will likely lag for years. So, to summarize, the path to affordable housing isn't a single event, but a slow convergence. It demands the delicate dance of lower mortgage rates, a massive increase in the right kind of housing supply, and incomes that finally start to heal the wounds of inflation. It's not the quick fix we want, but it is the realistic path forward. Now, I want to leave you with a question, and I'd love to see your thoughts in the comments. For affordability to improve in the next 2 years, what do you believe is more important? A, mortgage rates dropping to 5.5%, or B, a 20% increase in the number of homes for sale? Let me know. And if you're grappling with this feeling of being stuck, wondering why the old rules of work hard and get ahead don't seem to apply anymore, then you absolutely must see our next video, Why Working Harder Keeps You Broke. Thank you for your time and your focus today. This is a vital conversation, and I'm glad we could have it. Stay curious.